Hello and welcome to TLDR on Earshot, where we address the questions everyone's asking and we make it crisp and fast. I'm Dipavali and with me is my colleague Garima.
Hello everyone.
Now, Indian scientist Dr Ronaldo Laishram led a study that discovered a primordial galactic cluster which he named after Manipur's Loktak Lake as a tribute to his birthplace. With this dedication, he hopes that Manipur's natural beauty and culture will echo through the universe. On this episode, we'll understand why this discovery matters, what exactly did the researchers see, but first, why is this massive structure named after Manipur's Loktak Lake? Over to you, Garima.
Hi. So, Indian scientist Dr. Laishram led this study. So, he named the collection of galaxies after the Loktak Lake in Manipur. Because the protocluster, which means a primitive cluster, resembled the interconnected but separate floating islands. Like the lake's ecosystem, it was found that galaxies that developed in such clusters were not only influenced by their internal properties, but also other environmental factors.
A group of international researchers at the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan had spotted a large cluster of galaxies using the Subaru telescope. That structure has been examined in detail now using the James Webb telescope. And basically, it was found that galaxies that formed in clusters were already growing differently from those that formed in the quieter regions of space, even at that age of the universe.
See, galaxies are not spread uniformly through the universe. They have gathered into groups of hundreds and even thousands of galaxies. But in the beginning of the universe, there were no galaxies or large structures. Dense regions grew under the force of gravity and became the galaxies we see today. Isolated and cluster galaxies behave differently. Galaxies in crowded environments have difficulty forming new stars. They have rounder shapes and also tend to be more massive.
Right. Researchers then compared the protocluster galaxy with more typical galaxies that were formed during the same cosmic time. When seen under UV light, which illuminated the regions where star formation was taking place, there was only a very little difference between the two types of galaxies. But when seen in optical light, which shows the overall distribution of previously formed stars, they found that the galaxies in the protocluster were on average 1.4 times larger than galaxies in normal environments. In plain language, that means that the star-forming behavior at the core of the galaxies or at the center of the galaxies was similar, but the galaxies in crowded environments built up their outer stellar structures more rapidly.
So what finally emerges from this study is that the environment was already shaping galaxy clusters even before they were fully formed. So further research will help scientists find out whether such an environmental effect was common in the early universe or unique to the Loktak protocluster.
And let us leave you with the fact that the Loktak Galaxy cluster is 12.6 billion years old. For reference, the universe is 13.8 billion years old, which means that this primitive cluster of galaxies was formed when our universe was pretty youthful at just 1.2 billion years old.
So the universe has certainly aged very gracefully. That's a wrap on this episode of TLDR. See you in the next episode. Till then, take care and goodbye.
You are listening to Earshot Podcasts. Find us on our website, earshot.in, on YouTube at Earshot Media, and download our app, Earshot, Indian Podcast app.